Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody in Canada. We will get started in a minute. Say hi if you've joined. There's Steve. Let's get you on here right away, Steve, and then I'm going to share. Look at that. It worked.
It worked. Can you hear me?
Nope, can't hear
No,
you.
can't hear you.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, you're on, so I'm going to share. Oh, let's hope we didn't lose you. Hi, Sarah. How are you? Okay, before he comes, we'll wait till he comes back. Keith, how are you? Keith, what are you cooking for Thanksgiving? I know it's going to be something delicious. Frozen, but he'll come back. Don't worry, everybody. I hear, Sarah, you guys have got your kids doing a bike thing, Steve was saying. Hi, Doug, how are you? Naomi, how are you? Okay, so Steve will be back. Don't everybody just, you know how this goes, you guys. So we've got Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend up here in Canada. It's going to be an echo. Yeah, we did a test run, so he's probably getting his ear pods or AirPods or whatever they're called. We'll get him back on here. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. All right. Now I can't hear you. This happened in our test run. Go ahead and say something. Can you hear me? Hang on, you guys. Oh, there he is. Hopefully. Froze. Oh, thank you, Josh Cotner. Good morning to my mother-in-law. How are you this morning? Citrus spice apple cider brine. Oh my goodness. Keith, you're always so fancy. It always sounds so good. Bear with us, you guys. You know we'll get him on here. We had a couple of glitches in our test run too, but that's okay. Okay.
Okay.
Third time's the
Third
charm.
time's the charm.
Okay, let's see if
Okay,
it
let's see
works.
if it works.
Okay, say hello. Oh,
Hello, hello,
there we
hello.
are. See, third time's the charm.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to share. So
You got me?
yeah, I've got you. How are you?
Good, good. I'm very good, thank you. And you?
Good. So you go ahead and introduce yourself. I'm going to share.
Okay. So I'm Steve Jewell from over at the other side of the pond in the UK.
Yes. We are so happy you're here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And where do you work? Steve Jewell from over on the
Um,
pond.
so I'm the UK and European distributor for Lapolla Industries, Lapolla spray foam and coating systems.
Nice.
So we distribute around the UK and around Europe, mainly spray foam, but we also do the coating systems as well.
Okay. And you are a jet setting man
A jet set man without a lot of windows at the
without a
moment.
window.
I know, I know. I seem to be having a run of that at the moment. So
I laughed so hard when I got on the plane to go home to my parents. And
I've
I
seen
looked and
that.
I was like, I'm having a Steve Jewell flying moment. I have to share.
Well, it's happened that much at the moment that I'm unsure whether someone's playing a trick on me in the office or whether it's just bad luck. Like, I don't know whether I've upset the girls yet. I'm trying to work out whether they're just paying me back for something.
What have you done to those girls?
I wish I knew.
Right.
Well, I know a lot, right? So,
Yes.
mm.
So when did you get started in the industry, Steve? Like tell us how you what brought you into the
so,
industry?
so 6 years ago, I started a coating system company up, a franchise for, I don't know if you've heard it, Linex.
Yes, I've heard of it. Yeah.
So it's spray and bed liners. So I
Mm-hmm.
started the southwest of the UK franchise for spraying and bed liners. And at the time, I was a fully employed motor mechanic, a lorry mechanic or truck mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working sort of from 5:30 in the morning till sort of 5 doing that job. And then I would go and I would spray some bed liners down at my shop.
Wow.
And then I was doing that for probably a year. And then I was there on a weekend, and there's certain sounds with spray foam rigs and spray and coating rigs that you hear, and you hear the pumps go right. And
Yeah.
so I'm in my lockup and I'm spraying the thing, and I stop spraying. And I'm still hearing this going. I'm like, there's got to be something wrong with my equipment.
Right.
I go look, and my equipment's doing nothing. I look outside and I see a Graco reactor, which looks to me at the time to be an EXP2, which is for polyurea.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't. It was an E30, which was for foam. And I didn't know about foam at the time, or I had very limited knowledge about foam. And I went over, and this guy was spraying this workshop. So I started talking to him about spray foam, and I watched him spray for a bit. And then, as simple as that, the bug got me. I went home, I started researching about it, I started learning about it, and probably within, I don't know, a few months, I'd stopped doing bed liners, stopped
Mm-hmm.
spraying bed liners, and just got into foam and just went full tilt into spray foam.
Okay.
Started doing a lot of spray foaming around the UK, traveling a lot, spraying and picking up different different things from the industry and just learning about it. And then one day I ended up getting an email come through from this guy from over in Texas. His name's Doug Kramer, asking if we could meet up and have
Who's
I don't
that
know if
guy? I don't
I
know.
don't. He's very small fry.
Yeah.
No one really knows him in the
Yeah,
industry.
I know. Like,
If I'm with you, and if you're at SPFA, which I think you're going to be there next year,
yeah.
I'll point him out to you.
Oh, okay,
No one
good.
really knows him. He'll
Yeah.
probably be carrying my bag or something, so it'll
Oh,
be all good.
nice. Well, it's good that he can pitch in like that. Is he going to be carrying?
He's a team player. I can tell you that for nothing.
Is he going to be carrying your arm wrestling championship belt?
Well, I haven't got one. That's the problem, right?
There's a problem.
There's a bigger guy than me that's got my belt, but so I got an email from Doug saying that he would like to meet up and wondered whether I would like to look at distributing Lapolla. And at the time,
okay.
I've got to be honest, I didn't even see my life changing going down that avenue. I was happy with spraying. I enjoyed learning about spraying. I enjoyed the art of what we call laying butter. So that was me. I was happy with it. I was growing as a business owner. I
Yeah.
was learning about business. I was learning about the industry. And then I got a curveball from Doug saying, "Do you want to become a distributor?" And the industry is really young in the UK, right? So
Right.
like the UK, we don't have sort of the knowledge and the experience that the guys in Canada and in the States have.
Mhm.
So there's no one that I could go to ask to find out whether it was a smart move or not. So I sat down with
Right.
my wife and said, "Look, I've got this guy, Doug. I've looked into Lapolla Industries. They seem to be one of the biggest, one of the best. It's kind of I've got to, he's willing to fly over to meet me. So I'm going to go to the meeting." So I go to the meeting and I sit down with Doug. And so Doug flies into London, and
Yeah.
then he drives down to Bristol, which is about 2 hours from where I live anyway. But that's about 2 hours from London. So I believe it's the first time he drove in the UK. So
Wow.
in my head, I'm thinking, you know, there's a 50-50 chance the guy's not going to make it anyway. So, you know, we'll see. He's probably going to drive the wrong direction. So
Right.
I
On the wrong side of the road.
right, exactly. So I go to Bristol. I sit down with him, and we spent quite a few hours just talking about, you know, what they could offer,
Mm-hmm.
and really, you know, afterwards I walked away, and my mind was made up.
Yep.
I come back. I sat down with Sarah and said, look, it's kind of really, I have to do this the same way as I do everything in life. I have to be all in. I don't ever have a plan B. I
Right.
think plan Bs are set up for failure. So I just was just like, so we're going to stop, you know, we're just going to go all in. I'm going to just go and chase everybody that's in the UK who wants to know about spray foam. And I'm just going to run around and bang on their doors and make as much noise as possible,
Right.
and see if we can get Lapolla
Mm-hmm.
to be the #1 spray foam, and everyone talk about Lapolla in the UK.
Right.
So that's what I started doing, and from that, then I went from distributing in the UK, and then Doug let me go into Ireland, and then he was just like, you know what, you can go into Europe. And then I phoned him up one day and I was like, Doug, I got an opportunity to sell into Hong Kong. Can I go to Hong Kong? And he's just like, look, you know, the easiest thing for me to say is just stay out of America, but you can go everywhere else.
Right.
And I was just like, but done.
Wow. So what year was
So
that?
Oh God, 6 years ago? No, maybe yes, probably 6 years ago.
Right. Okay. So that is the thing over
So
there.
around 2013, something like that.
Yeah. So over there, like you're saying, it's kind of spray foam's kind of a baby, really. Is it still
Oh,
that way, or is it progressing
in the
more?
last certainly in the last 2 years, the industry's come on leaps and bounds.
Right.
We've got a lot more. What's happening now is we've got guys who have been in the industry long enough to be able to give their experience back, and we've got the guys, if they've been in the industry this long enough now, they're professional enough to be listened to,
Right.
and they understand, you know, and so much to do with spray foam worldwide, right?
Yes.
You know, now we've got somewhere that you can put your photos up of your work and get feedback, and you don't
Right.
get feedback from people on that. You know, every now and again you're going to get a little bit of a curveball from somebody, but these guys give you help, and that really is invaluable to the industry. And I
Right.
believe that's a lot of the reason the standards in the UK have come up. And I'll be honest, the guys in my network in the UK, I'd put up against any sprayers in the world.
Yep.
I believe we got some of the best sprayers out there, because they're so hungry for learning.
Right.
You know, and I'm very proud to say that the guys that spray Lapolla, really, you know, that there's not many people that can touch them in the UK marketplace.
Right. So what, I guess that would be lead into the question of how did you get into spray foam worldwide? How did you discover it?
That's a good question. I don't know. I was there at the very beginning.
Right.
I didn't get my name on the t-shirt but I can remember seeing, you know, if you want your name on the t-shirt, because the first SPFA I ever went to was the one in California, in Palm Springs.
Right.
And I believe just after that, Spray Foam Worldwide started kicking off, and everyone got involved. But you know, I'm glad to say that I've got some really good friends in Spray Foam Worldwide now. You know, got Bill, Josh, Ken.
Yeah.
Even though Ken has kicked my ass a couple of times now, which is amazing. But so that's another thing I can tell you.
Yeah.
This year, or not this year, next year in SPFA, I'm going to be bringing some of my contractors.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. So it's going to be the first year that I'm going to be bringing like 10 or 11 different contractors from the UK.
Now, if you guys can come from the UK, I better get my ass down there.
Oh, for sure.
There's no excuse.
For sure. I think that this year's SPFA is shaping up to be like, from what I can see, you know, with the opening party from Spray Foam Worldwide and stuff, I can see it being the best so far, I reckon.
Yeah.
I have a blast every year. I love the show. I love socializing with everyone. The reason I've always gone since I've been distributing Lapolla and part of the Lapolla family is I always learn. I'm just over there,
Right.
and the best way for me is learning is I talk to these guys that I have respect for, and they just without even knowing that I'm learning from these guys, we're
Yeah.
just talking foam, and I
Right.
come away, and as soon as I land on the UK, and it's not like I need anyone to light a fire under me. I'm 100 miles an hour anyway,
Yeah.
but I land, and I've just got a million of these ideas. What someone said to me over there about how, what happened to them and how they overcome this issue and that
Right.
issue, and at that point you kind of think, right now, if the industry can be that far on in the States,
Mm-hmm.
and now all I need to do is I need to be the vocal point for my industry in the UK, and try and take all of these things that have happened in the States back to the UK. And
Right.
so
Yeah, you've got a great opportunity there because it's so new in where you are. That
mm.
what would you say then is your biggest challenge of getting people to understand about spray
um
foam over there? What
so,
is
so
the biggest challenge?
Well, the biggest problem is the same as I believe anywhere in the
Hmm.
world with it. Everybody's skeptical. The problem is you've always got somebody that, you could have the best thing in the world, but someone
Right.
will go, no, no. Everyone's always got their own opinion, and people like just to have an opposite opinion just because some people, they don't, they don't want to see the best in things. For
Right.
us in the UK, spray foam, it really is, and I know I'm going to say it, but it is the only insulation to have, because the way our building codes are, the way the air tightness testing architecture is in the
Hmm.
UK now, no one's building in the UK, or not many people are building in the UK just square boxes with roofs on now. So,
Right.
with spray, yeah, and then to airtight now, we've got really stringent airtight tests in
Yeah.
the UK.
Right.
And again, we have a thing called the BBA, the British Board of Agreement, which they govern. So they govern the building products that can be used,
Hmm.
and spray foam insulation is the most accredited insulation in that marketplace,
Right.
but it's trying to get it in there. It's knowledge again, trying to speak to people. Most of what we do back at Lapolla UK is trying to speak to building professionals, architects, building control guys, and try and build up their knowledge and understanding, so they don't instantly, the first thing that comes to their head is them go, no, they've heard about it, because that's what a lot of people do.
Right.
They just say no because they don't know, and
Right.
that's the way it
That's
is.
the hurdle. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so the more we speak to these people, the more we bang the drum about spray foam, the industry
Mhm.
in general. The easier it gets, and the quicker it accelerates and gets what we want. But at the same time, I'm in a position I need to govern that a little bit to make sure that we don't go backwards to go forwards. We keep that standard, the sprayers standard, the training,
Mhm.
everything that we do, we need to make sure it's the highest standard and it's done professionally,
Right.
or else it can run away, and then all of our hard work can be lost within a couple months.
Right. Oh, for sure. Most definitely. And that's something, yeah, I guess that's the thing. You guys, your architecture and your how you guys build over there is probably a little different than we do over here.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, well, again, and it's different in Canada than what it is
Hmm.
in the States, right?
Right. Yeah. That's very true.
But spray foam does the job. And, and,
Right.
and, and that's the thing, where you can't use fiber, you can't use rigid board for you can get spray foam into properties and
Right.
globally. So
Right. Kevin Bilbin says a bunch of Steve Jewells running around SPFA. We're going to need to hire the Hells Angels for security. Oh, I'm going for sure now.
uh, well, let's hope not, right?
I think
No,
that's,
we'll be on best behavior, right?
yeah, I think that's really cool that you make that effort to come over and attend those conferences. I think that says something about how passionate you guys are about this industry and what you do.
Yeah, and I think the thing with the show is the spray foam worldwide guys, right?
Yeah.
The breakout stuff really, it's not gonna, the breakout meetings and the first day before the actual show starts isn't really going to be beneficial for my guys too much because of the codes and everything. It will be to a certain extent. There's going to be a few breakout meetings that I think I'm going to get my guys to go to and stuff, but a lot of it probably isn't going to be to the UK marketplace. But the sitting around and talking and to the guys
Right.
in spray foam worldwide, that's gold.
Yes.
That's gold. You know, if someone turned and said, right, SPFA's cancelled, but all the spray foam worldwide guys are going there, we would still get on
You
the
would
plane.
still come.
We would still come.
It's huge. And that is the biggest thing. And that's the thing that Worldwide has done with this industry. It's brought people together that would have never been brought together. And so it's completely changed the face of the industry, I believe.
I agree. We wouldn't be talking right
That's
now.
right.
For spray foam.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
but I believe it kind of infuses this thing where you know, if you're marketing correctly, if you're using social media to market things correctly, it grows an industry, you know, and that's massive. To say that Facebook, social media, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's, you know, whatever the social media platform is, that's growing an industry by people putting their quality stuff on online, and I think it's amazing. It just shows the world that we live in right now and how powerful that can be, and that's why I believe our industry's growing, because our guys are seeing and it makes everyone want to perform. No one wants to get into business to come, you know, not to be the best. Well, some people do, but not the guys in this forum or the guys in our network. You know, everyone's about longevity and making sure and learning, and it's about these guys are willing to teach, and that's a cool thing.
Right. So I can tell by the way that you talk, you are an extreme person. I believe that you need to meet my husband. He's the same personality, all in
Right.
or not. So
Yeah,
you,
I never get in the shallow end of the swimming pool.
right? Yeah, you jump right in.
Yeah.
Which that it does take a strong person to support you guys when you have that personality. So tell us a little bit about your family.
So I've got a wife. I've been with Sarah for 19 years, married 10. We got together when we was 16 or 17. I better get that right. And I've got two boys. I've got a 9 and a 5-year-old.
Oh, okay.
Seth and Sonny.
Yeah.
And we're actually we're actually all called SJ. So it's Sarah Jewell, Seth Jewell, Stephen Jewell, and Sonny Jewell. Which it sounds good, and at the time when we was naming our sons, we was just like, oh, that'd be great because we could be, we can have a number plate on our car, Team SJ. Everyone knows us as Team SJ, and that's great. Yeah. And then you start getting posts where it says like Mr. S. Jewell. Nobody knows who's it for until you open it, right? Right. So now it's not so bad because they're young, but the older they get, and, you know, I don't want my boys opening my post and vice versa.
Right.
But, you know.
Yeah. And you travel a ton for your job.
Yeah.
So are you now, is your wife, I guess your kids are in school now, but are they able to travel with you a little bit or not often?
No, not really, because Sarah also is my office manager as well. So she runs the ship back there. I've got great guys back in the office. You know, I've got Pete in technical. I've got Naomi who does the marketing side of it all, and I've got Sarah who's accounts and the office manager. You know, essentially them guys steady the ship while I go out and make the waves, and it works really well. But you know, they do the work of 100 team.
Right. So it's hard. Like we see you guys all the time. You're jumping on a plane, and everybody. I always say this. Everybody thinks it's this glorious life, and it's hard to be away from your family.
Oh, it is. You have to be focused and dedicated. And don't get me wrong. In the very beginning, the first 12 months are a blast. You're just like, so I'm getting on a plane. I'm going to a new hotel room. The hardest thing, right? So this is my personal. The hardest thing about traveling and staying in the hotel rooms is when you go away with your partner. Yeah. So if you go away on holiday now, my kids, Sarah, they get like we open the hotel room, we go in the hotel room, they're bouncing around checking the mini bar, seeing
Yeah.
what it's got, and I'm like,
Whatever.
It's
Yeah.
another hotel room.
Yeah.
You know, I was in 4 last week. You know, so
Yeah.
that's the hardest. That's the hardest thing. But from that side, obviously the hardest thing is that I'm not home a lot to see my boys, and when I am home, it's a million miles an hour. They're like myself. They are a million miles an hour, and
Yeah.
if I come home and I've been working away for a week, and I come home and I'm knackered, and
Yeah.
they don't understand that, they want to go on the bikes, and of course, that's what we do. We have all weekend we spend together, most weekends, and the easiest thing for me, my boys are into motorbikes. I'm a big motorbike guy.
Yeah.
So we ride bikes at the weekend. We're all happy. Sarah's not so happy when it's raining and we're covered in mud and she's got to deal with that. But
Yes, that's a lot of boys to deal with.
it is a lot of boys to deal with.
It's that's what I always am interested in when you guys are traveling, because it's always, the question is always asked, I know, to women, how do you balance everything? And there is, like, there is no balance. It's you have to balance whatever it is the best you can for what works for your family. So it's challenging for sure if you're away all the time.
It is challenging. It's probably more challenging. Well, it is more challenging for Sarah. Sarah's got a lot more to deal with, right? She's got my boys to get ready for school, to do the homework with. She also runs the office when I'm not there.
Yeah.
I got one job. I got to go out. I've got to make people want to be part of our networks, high standards, run around, whether it's here, jump on planes, go to hotel. I got one job. Sarah's got, like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how many jobs. I've got no clue how many jobs she's got, but it's more than my job.
Yeah.
So, it is definitely harder. I certainly wouldn't swap roles with her.
Right. It is. And I mean, like I said, when you are with somebody who is, of the same personality as you are, it takes a different kind of way to make that work, because that is not everybody can handle that kind of personality. And it can be very tricky.
Yeah, exactly. And Sarah, I don't think anybody would ask me to try and change, because I couldn't change.
Right.
If I'm going to do something, whether it's in my personal life or whether it's my personal life basically is my business life now, right?
Yeah.
So it's spray foam everything.
Yeah.
I couldn't slow down. I couldn't do anything half-assed. It's not in me to do it. And if I did, I'd be disappointed in myself.
Right.
And I think my team would be disappointed in me.
Yeah.
If I didn't commit all in. I got to make the need for me traveling around everywhere and making all this noise and making all this work and making sure people understand spray foam in the UK and stuff. They've got to deal with it after everything that I say in these meetings and these presentations. And then I turn around and go, right, guys, so I've said this, this, and this, and this. Now you've got to kind of deal with it. And they're just like, why did you do that? And I'm just like, well, remember, that's what I do.
Yeah. I know. Yes. It's like I always say to Rex, it's the visionary people and, big personality people need the people that are the attention to detail oriented, because otherwise, like, you guys are flying 100 miles an hour. We're going to try and tether you a little bit, but not too much. The attention to detail people and the visionary people, sometimes that's a little tricky. But you need each other.
Exactly, and that's why I'm proud to have a team that I've got back in the office. I'm generally that they're all my friends.
Yeah.
I look at everybody as my friends that work for me.
Yeah.
And that's because I care about them, and they care about the industry and as much as I do, and they care about I know my guys turn up to work to have fun, because we run nobody gets bored in our office. I can tell you that now. If someone's having a boring day at home, they come to work because it's more fun in our office. The culture that we have in there is come to work to have fun.
Yeah.
And it just generates this this atmosphere of success and professionalism. Someone said to me once, I think it might have been Naomi, when we first did a yearly review, that I said, "Is there anything you want to say?" And she was like, "Yeah, you're the most professional, unprofessional person I've ever met."
Yes, right?
I was like, "I'll take that."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. How many are in your office? How many people do you have?
So we've got Sarah, Nay, Pete, and Mel, and we've got a warehouse guy that he's just left. He was part-time, so we're looking for another person as well.
Okay,
But
got it. And Ken Wells is waving at you. He just
is he
waved.
waving at me, or is he calling me out again?
No,
Is he calling
he's
me out again?
waving. It's nice so far.
He's a great guy. Ken,
Yeah.
I've got so much love for Ken. He's damn strong too.
Yeah.
Like freakishly strong.
I saw some of the video clips. I think somebody took video, or I forget, but yeah, from last year, from when you guys everybody was doing the arm wrestling thing at the last
So
SPFA.
that kind of caught me out, right? So the first year that happened was in Alabama. It was me, Ken, and Tyler. We was down in the lobby at like stupid o'clock in the morning. It must have been like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and we had accidentally had too much to drink, and then the arm wrestling started. And I got my ass kicked by Ken, which I'm saying was because I was the timings and everything that was different, and I was too drunk, right? So that's that one. So I'm not really giving. That's not a 1-0 to me. Yeah. And then the build up over on Spray Foam Worldwide, I kind of didn't really take a lot of notice of it. There was a few people calling me out. There's a few people calling Ken out. Then all of a sudden, just before Daytona, Mike sticks up this like Street Fighter thing with my face on it and Ken's face on it. I'm like, really? Is it gone to that level?
Yeah.
What am I walking into?
Right.
So we went over there, and then I'm walking around with Doug, we're having some food, and the notifications going bing, 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 and then all of a sudden I see this arm wrestling table, and I'm just like, that's not for me. Surely that's not. And me and Doug go out for a meal, and we take some customers out, and then everybody's arm wrestling. It's like, and so I'm staying a little bit back, and then everybody starts going like, the main night was me and Ken are going to do this arm wrestling. Yeah. And I'm sat in a restaurant with Doug, and we're sat down. We're having a meal with. There's a few of us at the table, and I can see across the restaurant Ken with his wife. Yeah. So I start messaging him saying, like, just a little bit of banter, just like, don't be afraid, Ken. Like, and then so then I'm with Doug, but the meal goes on, and. And then I think it was Cole that started going, "Where's Steve Jewell at?" And everybody's then started, "Where's Steve Jewell? Where's Steve Jewell?" And I'm just like, Doug, I think I've got to go and do this arm wrestling thing. So I walk into this room, and I walk in, and everyone turns around, and Josh McCall, he turns around and he sees me, and everybody just goes nuts, and I'm just like,
what's happening?
So I have not had enough to drink to be in this environment. Yeah. And anyway, so I'm just like, look, let's just get it done before everybody gets a little bit too nuts in here. So then Robert starts. So we go to the thing. Robert starts going, USA, USA, and I'm like, oh. It was crazy. So anyway, I let Ken win just to make sure he felt all right.
Well, that was nice of you.
Well, you know, his wife said to me, if you don't let him win, Steve, he is going to be like a bear with a sore head. And I'm just, you know what? I'll let you take this, Ken. Yeah. But then they produced a belt. If I knew the belt was there, it would have been a different story. So the training when you started, like, have you been training? That's the big question. Training. I've been doing the McDonald's training camp at the moment, okay. So that's going really well. Good. So my plan this year is to bring 10 of the biggest guys that I know from the network. So if I get my ass kicked, one of them should be able to take the belt home. There you go. That's the logic that I've got. Yeah, you can. You have your
hype crew behind you. Like you can have a
There
theme
you go.
song coming into the room now. Like it's a big deal.
Well, yeah, it's about working smarter, not harder this year, right? So,
Right, right. So you guys will
uh,
come over and you'll be here for the entire week when you come for SPFA, or how long will you be there?
so remember I was telling you I got a great team in the office with Sarah and Nay and Pete
Mm-hmm.
and everyone. I got no clue how long I'm going to be there. They organise everything. So
Oh, okay, gotcha.
this is how great. I go into the office on a Monday.
Yep.
They pass me my tickets, a schedule of meetings, debrief me, push me out the
Get
door. I
out,
get on the plane,
and
and
away you
that's
go.
it. And
Yeah.
and then I go there. I read through my, and then I know when I get to the bottom of the list, I can turn around and go home.
Oh, there you
And
go.
that's it.
Finish your
That's what I do.
checklist. Yes, finish the
Yeah, done,
checklist.
done, 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 done.
Yeah.
I've completed it. So,
Okay. Well, you can you can keep us on standby with that. And I'm noticing your cup you're drinking out of.
ah, of course.
There's Cup
It's,
Slanger.
there you go. It's my favorite cup.
Yeah, I haven't seen one like in person. Somebody posted a picture yesterday. I forget who it was, Stacy, and I've forgotten her last name, but that cup looked huge. And I was like, I think that cup's bigger than she is almost. But yeah,
That's a lot of coffee, right?
that's a lot of coffee or whatever's in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't judge.
No, me neither, right?
Yeah, that's right. Now you've
Yes.
got, what were you telling me? You've got a thing with your kids after this. You're going,
Ah,
what are you doing?
so that's why I've not got a beer in my hand and I'm
Mm-hmm.
drinking water and a coffee.
Yeah.
So in our local town,
Yeah.
there's a thing called bike lights. So it might look like it's going to rain, so it might get cancelled. But so what we've been doing is we've been putting lights on the bikes, and the kids cycle around the town, and it's a quite big event. So I'll be down there running around after them, making sure that they're keeping themselves out of trouble and
Right.
everything goes to plan. And if I've had a beer, it probably is not the best luck in the world.
Right. Yeah. Put one in.
But if I thought about, I should have put what.
Put
I
it
should
in
have put it
your.
in
See,
there.
there you go.
You live and learn, right?
That's right. The things you learn on a coffee with Carla.
This is what I took away. Put
Yes.
your alcohol in a coffee cup.
Right. You know, it's a roadie then. That's what we call a roadie.
Is that
That's what we
called?
call it,
It's
is a
got,
roadie.
it's got a name.
Yeah,
It's
it's
got a
got a
name.
name. Yeah.
An
Yes.
alcoholic's roadie.
There you go. There you go. So what is on the horizon for you, Steve?
Just the same as always, just building the business,
Yep.
making sure that we're doing everything right. Building the industry in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, I'm going to be pushing a lot more into Europe. We do a lot in Europe anyway,
Mm-hmm.
but I really want to get into the European markets and really get a foothold. Take the business model that we set up in the UK and really find the niche markets, what we can use for getting into the European market. We got to see what happens at the end of the month with Brexit first of all, but that's not going to stop me doing what I need to do in Europe.
Right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So, but government funding as well.
Mm-hmm.
We've got government funding coming up for Lapolla spray foam in the UK, so that's going to be massive. I don't know whether I'm going to get told off from the office for telling you this bit, but we're also going to be doing TV advertising early next year.
Oh, very cool.
So I've just signed off on that. So I'm going to get my my ugly mug on primetime telly
There
somehow.
we
I don't know.
go.
Scare everyone into buying spray foam.
What do you guys, so I guess, I mean, Lapolla's really good about their material, like their advertising and marketing materials and education materials. So you guys have an arsenal of excellent, education.
The thing that we have to do, which Lapolla is really good with us at the moment, and Naomi and Pete have a one-to-one with the guys, the marketing department back in and the technical department once a week back at Houston. So what they're really good at doing is sort of, I don't want to say de-Americanizing, but making the literature that they have to be able to work for us in the UK marketplace a lot more, and the guys understand it in the UK. So that once a week for that hour, once a week that they speak on marketing and technical and relay it back to my team and support my team. That's a godsend, really. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah. And I mean, it does have to be converted because there is such, it is so different everywhere.
Yeah.
So I guess the thing that you guys because you always see that about temperatures and weather and, different things like that. For you guys, what is that battle with weather for you guys? I guess, is it rain that you guys battle the most, or like
It kind
dampy
of is.
cold? Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of is. It's like I said a minute ago, our summers are very short, or they're not. We get 3 months of maybe summer. Like the sun definitely tries,
Right.
but sometimes it gets its ass kicked.
Yeah.
But a lot of the UK market really is high humidity.
Right.
So we battle with that. We battle with, especially the new build market, is making sure that the buildings get watertight. So again, using spray foam insulate, it's a quicker, more professional, better way to insulate. So that helps the guys get the buildings up in the summer, get them watertight, and then move forward. So it actually brings the construction on with the new build. And this is what we've been trying to get into, and getting the builders and the construction industry to understand that actually will help them, especially with the weather conditions that we have in the UK.
Right. And how is it? Go ahead.
So you could wake up one day and look at the weather forecast and it could say sunny, and you could look out your window and it could be raining. It really is.
Right.
It changes very quickly over here.
I feel like it would be like my weather here in Vancouver. It's like, it's that dampy, like right now, it's that dampy cold, goes right through you, bone chilling cold. And the temperature doesn't seem that bad, but it's a different kind of cold than where I come from. The province that I grew up in, it's a dry cold. So it's different. You can layer and you're warm, but here it's very dampy because we're by water. So it makes a huge difference, and rain, and
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It sounds a lot like our environment over here.
Yeah. I was thinking it's probably very similar. So
and the thing is as well, so we've got a lot of contractors in Scotland. And the thing is, if you go to Scotland, and I don't think they know what shorts are up there, because it doesn't get sunny up there. It's just
yeah.
I was actually in Scotland for a wedding last weekend. I got invited to one of our guys who I know through he's in the Lapolla network now. They invited me to the wedding, so me and Sarah went up to Inverness, which is one of the furthest points up there. And the weather actually was quite nice for the wedding. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't sunny, but it wasn't raining. So
right, yeah. That, and I mean, that is, you see those, a lot of our people in worldwide are in the southern states or like Florida, and it's always like they're always battling heat. So it's such a the industry's got so many different variables to deal with to make sure that foam is going to do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly right. I had a very steep learning curve when we pushed into Hong Kong with the humidity and stuff out there. That was crazy, and the weather in Hong Kong as well, how quick it can change, and the hurricane season, that's crazy.
Oh,
we don't get anything like their hurricane season, and trying to understand the excessive, extreme weathers that they have over there, and understanding how the foam can react and what foam. And again, this is the great thing with working, being part of Lapolla, speaking to the guys in the technical department, getting my tech guys to then speak to the guys in the States, understanding that data, building your knowledge up, talking to people. That's the thing about having a network and a family that can support you. It's key. You can now I can go to somewhere that I can't speak the language, I don't understand in the environment, and I can sell them foam and make it work. So that's the cool thing.
Well, that would be like when I was going to ask you about the Hong Kong market. So how that's got to be a bit of a tough market to get into because of a language barrier and just being a different area. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It kind of come out of nowhere, really. I work with a guy in the UK whose brother lives in Hong Kong,
Hmm.
and he's been speaking to me, and we've been talking about spray foam for quite some time.
Yeah.
Um, and then they got some projects that they actually spec or got spray foam, Lapolla spray foam spec'd on, and then he hit me and was just like, "We're going to need you to go over to Hong Kong and do something." I'm just like, what? I don't really. And they're going like, yeah, so we're going to need you to show other guys to set up the rig. We're going to need you in some meetings to do some
Right.
presentations. And I'm just like, guys, this is Hong Kong, it's
Yeah.
like it's not like going to Spain or somewhere where I can sort of understand a little bit. But we went there. 9 days later we come away there, and some amazing spraying was done. Lapolla sent one of their guys, I think it was Robert, over to do the spray training. I was there a few days before, sort of give them a bit of, so they wasn't completely novice to understanding about it, set the rig up and so on, and did some meetings for the guys. And
Hmm.
I believe that they're moving along quite nicely now. They've got a couple more bigger projects coming up, external spraying and then coating over the top of the spray foam. So
Oh, good.
it's building. It's again,
Yeah.
it's building. I believe I'm going to go out there again. Again, I'd have to check with the girls in the office, but I'm out there again soon.
Check with your people when they hand you that itinerary.
Exactly. I think I'm going to Europe, and it turns out I'm off to Hong Kong.
There you
I packed
go.
completely the wrong clothes, right?
Yeah,
Mm.
that would be, it's different, I guess, when you're traveling within your own country, but then you start getting into different countries, and that's got to be such an incredible experience.
Yeah, it is an incredible experience to be able to do that.
Hmm.
A lot of people say, does it bother me that I don't speak the language, and I kind of let my passion speak for itself about spray foam. So
Right.
I don't need them to understand what's coming out of my mouth. I just need them to understand that I will do what I say I'm going to do. The spray foam will do what it's going to say it's going to do.
Right.
So, and understand that, I might be a million miles an hour doing a presentation, and you might not understand a goddamn thing that's coming out of my mouth, but
Yeah.
understand that we will perform and do what we say we're going to do.
Right. It's the real, you're building that relationship, and that's the key
Correct.
thing,
Hmm.
with
Yeah,
everybody. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And we talk
So,
about that worldwide all the time. It's not the sale, it's the build the relationship.
yeah, well, business is relationships, right?
Yes.
It's not, and business nowadays is not about one person saying I'm in charge, I'm the boss, I'm the leader. It's not that at all anymore. And if you
Yeah.
kind of people's mentality is that, and some people do have that, then you're going to get left behind, because the reality is you're better off as a group of people. Everybody is the boss in my business. I'm
Right.
just the one that sticks my head above the trench first, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't make me the boss. I'm just the person that gets. I'm the one that gets shouted at. That's
Yeah.
that's.
But that is so true, because it used to be, years ago, that was the mentality. It's the boss,
Mm,
and then everybody is underneath the boss. And
yeah,
now it's, you have to have that mentality that it's everybody that is, it doesn't matter who it is. Everybody's part of that team. Everybody's making that business successful. It doesn't matter what
of,
industry you're in. That is
of
just how
course.
it is.
And you need to make the guys that work for the business believe in the business. And if they believe in the business, they're as much an owner of that business as what you are.
Right.
And as I said before, everybody who works in our office and within our network in the UK, they're an attribute to myself and what we do.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's just the face of it, and it's
Hmm.
not a great face at that, but everybody else is the ones that does everything behind it. They really
Right.
do.
Yeah. That is, and I mean, it's such a better mentality, and it's such a, it's just, it's more, it's gonna, it's gonna help businesses succeed by far faster, stronger.
Hmm.
It's all positives. If you include people in what you're building as a team and as a company, they're gonna treat that like it's their company too.
I couldn't agree with you more. Like,
Mm.
you're better off as a group than you are individually. You will survive longer. You're going to grow quicker.
Right.
And everybody's passionate about something if they're invested into it, you know,
Right.
and you're invested in something if you're having fun, you know,
Right.
and that's the thing for me, you know. I've always had the mentality that you've got to have fun in what you're doing, because if you're having fun, you're going to want to do it again. If you go and do something, it doesn't matter what it
Hmm.
is in life, and you don't have fun, you're not really half-assed at it. Be professional, but have fun at the same time.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to say that I feel like you've done other businesses outside of what you're doing now as you grew up. Did you do other
Yeah,
enterprises? I feel like you
yeah.
have.
I've yeah is the answer. You know,
Mhm.
I started a digger hire business when I was younger. I used to buy and sell a lot of vehicles when I was younger,
Yeah.
as well, as another business.
Mhm.
I've sold vehicles to companies in India before. What I bought
Oh,
off of councils, I bought fleets of vehicles,
yeah.
and then I've sold them to companies in India, like sort of dust carts, which are trash
Hmm.
vehicles and stuff. I bought them and sold
Yeah.
them. You know, loads of things. So I've learned my trade on how to sell and how to grow a business. The from the ground up.
Right.
You know, I've never done university. You know, I've learned it probably the hard way, maybe,
Yep.
but I've certainly I've got the scars for it, and I've
Right.
learned it, and I understand what it takes, or I understand to date what it takes to get to where I am today. And you know, I'm always learning, and
Hmm.
I'm the first person to hold my hands up and say if I'm wrong. I don't think. I believe if you don't fail, or if you're not failing, you're not trying. You've got to
Right.
understand failure is key to growth. If you're afraid of failing, then you're really going to be afraid of growing.
Right. And it's not, failure has a stigma to it. And my view on that has changed greatly because it's really, failure is the learning part. It's not actually a bad thing. It's now that it didn't work, but you've learned what you can take away from what you've out of that
Is,
is
is,
huge.
if you keep being successful and and keep winning at
Hmm.
everything, you're not learning. That's
Right.
not learning. That's doing the same thing that you're good at. Something that once I went from being on the gun, being a contractor, to being distributing, talking. You know,
Hmm.
I wasn't confident in talking in front of groups of people. I didn't know how to conduct a meeting. You know, it was all new to me.
Right.
But I had the mentality in my head to go, right. So that's what scares me. That's what I don't know. That's what I need to do more of. I need to do them things until that becomes normal for me, until
Right.
I become comfortable in that environment. And then when I'm comfortable in that environment, I'll go and do the next thing that scares me, the next thing that I don't feel that I'm
Right.
good at, until I'm comfortable with that. And then I'll grow as a person, I'll grow as a businessman, and then my guys see that I'm doing that, and they go, right, well,
Yes.
you know, and that's the thing. I'm not afraid to fail, so other people grow. That's the kind of person that,
Right.
or how I run my life as well as my business.
Yeah, and that's leading by example. So that's your people are going to benefit from that hugely.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. So it's what was I going to ask you? I had something else now I forgot. I should write these things. See, I don't write anything down, so it's like, now I'm going to have
I'm
to start
the,
writing
I'm the
stuff down.
same. I never write anything down.
I guess what would be your biggest takeaway from this industry?
Um, my biggest take from this industry, what from my personal
Yeah.
experience, um, that it shocks me that how one industry can pull so many walks of life from wherever they are to have a common goal. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's my biggest thing. You know, I, I'm I've got a friend now that is a CEO. That I've come from just being a man on the gun, and now me and Doug talk every day, or not every day, but at least every week. And
Yeah.
sometimes we don't even talk about spray foam. we normally always speak about spray foam, to be fair, because it normally leads down that path.
Yeah.
But Doug comes over to the UK and brings his wife. We go out shopping, or me and Doug don't go out shopping, but the girls go out shopping together. And just things like that. The industry brings people from all walks of life for a common goal, and that's my. I can never get my head around that. It's I don't know anything else or any other industry what would really be able to do that. Can you imagine someone from car manufacturing talking to the local garage, and the CEO of Ford talking to your local guy from around? I don't think
it
that
doesn't
would
happen.
No, but in spray foam, that's the norm.
Yeah.
Or from my experience and from working with Lapolla and stuff, that's the norm.
Yeah, and that's how it should be in all industries, because we're at the end of the day, we're all just people. We're all just people, regardless of your title. It doesn't matter, who you are. We're still all human beings. So we should all be able to interact, like you're saying, for sure.
No one's better than anybody else.
Right.
And if you think you're better than someone else, then you're a douche. It's as simple as that.
Very true. Very blunt, very true. I agree with you, because that's
maybe there's something in this coffee. Right?
What's in that cup, really? No, but that is very much the truth, and if somebody is thinking that, they are. I agree.
Yeah.
Because what makes you better? Nothing makes you better.
Nothing. No, exactly. We're all equal. And the thing is, you can learn off of people just by speaking to them. And the thing is, the person speaking to you doesn't know that you're learning from them, and that's the beautiful thing of it.
That's exactly right. So
but that happens every day in spray foam.
Yeah.
Every single day in spray foam, people were talking and they make one comment and they don't realize that they've just changed someone's whole perspective.
Yes. And that's why when somebody comes on in Worldwide and they're new, and we all know that first post in that group is terrifying, because are you going to get taken down? Are you going to get eaten alive?
I know.
But when people answer in the right way, it just, you see what happens. It's awesome. But it's that when somebody gets off on their little tangent, or is being a douche, like you said, it's, you're taking that person who's terrified to even post, and they may never post. They won't post again. They aren't going to learn anything. Don't ever do that, because we all started somewhere.
But then, but by shooting somebody down, you're giving them that plan B, that plan B that they didn't really want to use.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden they're thinking, maybe this industry isn't for me. And they could be the best damn sprayer that anyone has ever seen in a week's time.
Exactly.
But because they put a post up and they didn't know how to dial the foam, and they didn't understand the exact thing, pressures, the stuff that they needed to know from that one tech guy before that douche got involved, then and that messed it up, and now the industry suffered because somebody can't keep their opinions to themselves. So,
right.
But you don't see that in spray, because the admin do such a great job.
They do.
I believe that they do. But I also don't think that I don't probably know, but they don't have their work cut out that much. I really do genuinely believe that the forums, all of the spray foam forums, the UK one and stuff, people generally are there to help.
Yeah. I think it's, the tone was set in the very beginning of it. And that's why everybody, there are the odd times they have to come in and, kind of do the yellow card thing. But but for the most part, anybody who's been in there forever takes care of it before they need to. It's like, hey, now that's not how we behave in here.
No, that's right. But everybody else gets involved in it. Sometimes you see the threads and you're just like, how long is this going to go? And you see people just backhanding them back into place, and then boo, 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 and then boop, it's gone.
Yes, that's right.
So it took that long before either Bill or Robert or them was like, right, enough's enough. You're out of here.
Yeah, for sure. So, what would be your biggest takeaway from Spray Foam Worldwide? What is the biggest thing that you have taken away from that group?
From that group, probably a hangover at the opening parties. No, you know, it's a brotherhood, right? Well, it's not a brotherhood. It's a group of
Yeah.
you know, girls and boys
Yeah.
just wanting to bring the industry and really kick the other installations ass. And I
Yeah.
think that's the overall feel. You know, we know it's the best installation. Well, it doesn't matter what team you're on. It doesn't matter what foam you're spraying.
Yeah.
You know, we're the thing for it. The industry needs to grow. So if you're blinking to think that you've got to push your foam all the time. It's not about that. It's about pushing the industry, because then you're going to grow anyway. And I think that's the key part. And I think everybody in
Yeah.
spray foam worldwide gets that. You know,
Yeah.
that's why there's not my foam's better than your foam
Right.
on there all the time. It's about talking about the industry more than the manufacturers all the time.
Right. And I think too, we're going to start hearing a little bit more from the women in that group. If I get my way, I'm going to get those ladies chatting more in there too.
Well, and you girls like to talk, right? So
We do. We do. Everybody knows
there
that
you go.
about me anyways. But yeah,
Yeah.
they need to, you know, there's some very, very talented women in that group that are spraying.
Oh,
And I'm telling you, they are incredible. They're just quiet.
have you
And they,
seen? Is it Jennifer
Jennifer
Edwards?
Edwards?
Her spraying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Jen's
some of her
awesome.
sprayers. Oh man, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it just goes to show, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I mean, her and I are working on a few things together that are going to get these ladies, we're going to get them out there. We really are. So you guys better look out.
Okay. Well, if you get too good, we're gonna start calling you out on arm wrestles.
Right.
So
Oh, yes. We'll have to have oh God, we're going to have a girls one. Oh boy. I better get
there you go.
training. I better get training.
I'm entering your class, right?
Oh my word. I'd be out like right away. There would be no competition with me. So anyways, we've been on here for a while, so I think it's time to let you go do your bike thing with your
Okay.
kids. I am,
Well, I'm just looking out the window and I'm thinking,
is
is
it,
the rain coming or not? So, but yeah,
yeah.
we're I appreciate you inviting me on here.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for coming on. Do you have any final thoughts or anything you want to say to close it out?
Not really. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in Pasadena in California.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to bringing my guys over as well. So you know, and again, that's going to build relationships,
Yeah.
right? So I'm looking forward to that more than I'm looking forward to Christmas, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's going to be great for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Steve. I'm
No,
like,
thank you for
you
having me.
come back anytime. We'd be
I'll
honored
hold
to
you to
have
that.
you back. So thank you
Okay,
guys. And I know there's comments on here. We'll have to go back through and answer them. And you can put a link in there so they can find you if anybody needs you. Because
perfect.
anybody, you know, over in where you are that's watching, if they
Yeah,
need to find you.
I'll get my guys. I'm sure Naomi's probably watching this, so she's
Oh
gonna
yes, get your
probably
people to
share it.
do that.
I will.
Yeah, get her to share.
So see, the thing is, so what happens on it is I'll start sharing and stuff, and then Nay goes on there and deletes my stuff and then posts it again because I messed something up, right? So
Yeah. I've been known to do that as well. So I've done that with a few people. I'll go in and I'll correct, or not correct, but I add to a
yeah,
post and I
yeah,
get this
yeah,
message. Oh, I guess you didn't like my post. No, it's all good. I'm just helping. I'm just adding
yeah.
to it to make it better.
Exactly.
It's
There you go.
teamwork.
Perfect.
It's
There you
teamwork.
go. Teamwork makes the dream work,
That's
right?
right.
There you
All
go.
right. Okay. You have a great rest of your weekend.
Perfect.
And everybody, thank you for watching. And we will see you all next Saturday. Bye.
Perfect. Thank you.